Okay, and just like that, we're live. Good morning, everybody that has joined us already, and good morning to the beautiful crowd that we have right here in Weston. If you can see, as always, the most well-behaved Canvas agents show up here in Weston. They are all very well-behaved. They are not loud. They're not making a ruckus. I'm not saying that my Zoom crowd is anything differently, but we have the most well-behaved, all of the well-behaved Canvas agents here. So here we are once again doing our Motivation Information Monday sessions. Remember, these sessions are for information stuff that I want to share with you, what's happening in the market, what I'm seeing in the market, some informational, some other information. And today, I was approached by a few agents, newer agents in the industry recently, talking about Ernesto. I'm meeting with buyers. I'm meeting with a lot more buyers than usual, and I just want to know, how do I show my value? How do I show what I'm worth? You know. So I said, okay. So I went and put together some, looked up some stuff about. See, I looked up 105 ways where the ways that you can show your value to a buyer, right? 105 ways that you can show your value to a buyer. But before I do that, I want to just give you some stats and some stuff. Like always, real estate is a business of consistency. Consistency, follow up, consistency, follow up. You gotta stay focused. You gotta control the things that you can control. One of them is daily prospecting. And daily prospecting, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't have to be cold calling. Daily prospecting could be your sphere of influence. I received an article today that 87% of all loans originated last year were from referrals. That is huge. That means 87% of loans, was agents being referred, and loans being referred by somebody else. So it tells you that there is a lot of that. So prospecting, it's not just cold calling. It could be follow up with staying connected with the people that you already know, because more than likely they are the ones that are going to give you the business. Um, Also, the market is not going to determine your success or your failure. There's always going to be buyers. There's always going to be sellers. Remember, triple D, there's always going to be buyers, and there are always going to be sellers. You just got to stay focused with the ones that are going to be active. I have to pause for a second because I am getting Cuban coffee. Yes, they are making Cuban coffee in the office. So that is very, very important to stay alive. Got it? Cafecito time. Okay, so new home sales. New home sales, salute to all of you. New home sales and started the year with 3.6% more contracts. Developer sales. Remember that I said at the end of the year that there was a lot more inventory, the developers had a lot more inventory, right? So starting the year with January just ended, so I don't think they have all the data, but 33.6% more new home sales this year has already been accounted for. And Ruben will tell you that has to do with buy downs, rate buy downs, and incentives, right? So 3.6 for the beginning, all throughout the year, there were 683,000 more new home sales in 24 than 23. So buyers are flocking to new homes because it's cheaper mortgages, less maintenance, right? So you've got to become familiar with the inventory of new homes. We are currently launching a website here in Canvas for you guys where you'll be able to find every new project in South Florida, custom branded for you with all the floor plans, pricing, everything on it. We're finishing it up. It should be ready probably before the end of the month. So you guys will get your own page, not a Canvas page, your own Carlos Rosa new developments page where you'll have every project in South Florida that is being built. So you can share that. And whenever you share that, that will be branded to you, Carlos. So Carlos is very happy apparently because of that. Not share with anybody, right? So although that was good, that it was 3.6 more percent of new home sales January in Florida, it's already at 22% higher inventory. Take a drink and let you swallow that. 22% more homes have hit the market. No. That question was, is that single or married? No, it's not. It's condos. Condos make a majority of that. It's not single family homes. But ladies and gentlemen, that is a big number, right? That is already a big number. Primarily from what I've seen by watching the market religiously, I'm seeing higher price homes lingering, not uber luxury homes, because the 5 million plus homes are selling very well. The million to 2 million range, I don't know why it's sort of the drag right now, right? It's an interesting, Adriana Ashling sitting on the floor saying yes, because she has a listing at a 1.2, I think, and it's 1.5, and that's dragging a bit. Days on the market in Florida, ladies and gentlemen, it's also moving up a little. On average, January looks like homes in Florida took 70 days to sell. Homes. So if you have a listing, right, and it's over 70 days, raise your hand. Okay, then you have an overpriced listing. So if you have, let me see, in Zoom, anybody? Does anybody in Zoom have a listing over 70 days? 70. No, okay, so on average it's running 70. So if you have a listing and it's over 70 days on the market, you have an overpriced listing, because that's how long they're taking. This trend of taking 70 days, I think a lot of, because it has to do with rates. Rates moved up a lot in the beginning of January. They're retreating again, and I think today Ruben says they'll be below 7. Yeah, below. So I think buyers at that time come back into the market. So we will be below 7. The Fed decided last week not to do anything with the benchmark, but I think the Fed moving left or right, it's not doing anything for mortgages. So stop paying attention to that narrative. Affordability is what's being affected by these prices. But to me, affordability, I always see it differently. It's more of a location than a housing, because there's still affordable homes for sale in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Buyers just don't want to flock to those areas, because there are still single family homes at entry level prices, 450, 650, in areas that just buyers don't want to go to. So it's up to us to educate these buyers and show the benefit of these buyers. Fort Lauderdale and Miami are forecasted, and I remember, for those of you who attended 2 Fridays ago, I said appreciation be between 5 and 7. It looks like January, and even with all the bad news out there, it looks like South Florida is going to end January which is not good, with a 9% home value appreciation. Homes, not condos, homes. And I say that's not good, because we got to maintain a normal. Salaries don't go up 9% in a month, right? So then prices shouldn't go up 9% a month. So we need more inventory. I know that a lot of you are like, "That's local." No, we need a lot more inventory to keep pricing where it's at. Palm Beach was about a 6%, so Palm Beach was a little lower. It looks like home pricing stayed at 600,000, the average price. But so we're talking about the average price being 600,000. And I think I mentioned this last week. Champlain Towers, the building that catastrophically collapsed in Miami on the water. The new building was just announced. The developer is a developer from Dubai. The Delmore is the name of the building. The Delmore, the entry level units of the Delmore, right? There's only 37 apartments. So if you're gonna go sell them, you gotta get quickly. It's only 37. There are 7,000 square feet each. No, not even half. It's like a quarter of a floor. There's 7,000 square feet. Beginning pricing. I know Cruises, that's a buyer lined up, is $15 million. The cheapest unit is 7,000 square feet of beachfront property. 15, 15, 15. You want one? I'm going to put a reservation for you. So $15 million. Yes, it's a lot of money, 15 million, but we're talking about 7,000 square feet. It has an indoor and an outdoor pool. It has a huge 20,000 square feet fitness center. I think that's like the size of an LA Fitness, right? 20,000 square feet. That's like almost the size of an LA Fitness. That's the size of the gym. And since you're going to be stressed out about your association, it has a meditation garden. So whenever you have that time of the month that you got to pay your association, which is going to be a lot, you can go to the meditation garden and just like and meditate. They estimate that the building will be finished in 2029. I spoke to one of the potential salespeople for the project, and I said, "What you guys are thinking? $15 million?" They're like, "Well, Ernesto, we've done the research worldwide. Our buyer is an international buyer. Miami is a very international cosmopolitan city. Remember what I said last week? The Brickell is now the it neighborhood in the US, the it neighborhood. So they've done their marketing and they feel there's enough demand for this type of project. The building is beautiful. The renderings are astonishing. It's incredible. But, you know, and then I was reading that and then I said, okay, let me see what else happened. So a Ferrari, any car enthusiasts here? People that are car lovers? Carlos, anybody else that car enthusiast? No. Anybody in Zoom a car enthusiast? No. So I gotta look it up. Casa Maranello, and Deerfield Beach, which is a Ferrari-inspired luxury home, just sold for its full asking price, not a penny less. Anybody want to guess? It's the new record for Palm Beach, for Delray Beach. Take a number. It's 20, 52, $55 million. The home is 22,000 square feet. It's for the auto lover. The garage is a 12-car garage. It has an indoor-outdoor pool. It has, anybody soccer fans? It has its own soccer field, regulation size soccer field. And I don't understand why. So if someone can explain to me either on the comments on Zoom or in person, it has a Himalayan salt room. I don't know. Himalaya salt room. It's a room that I saw the pictures, all the walls are made out of rock salt. So you sit inside, there's no humidity in this room. Huh? Yeah. The salt, the Himalayan salt. Okay. So I gotta tell you that it was insane. I had never seen a salt room before. I thought I was only used to cure steaks, right, Ruben? That's what you use the salt for? Pure salt. Okay, so this one has a salt room. So $55 million, ladies and gentlemen, and you get your own salt room. The buyers is the Cafaro family from Ohio. So this is not even going to be their primary home. This is their winter home. And they're a car enthusiast family from what I looked up. So yeah, car collectors. Also, in not so interesting news, a gentleman named Sevansky, I'm not going to mention his first name, is the first real estate agent ever arrested for money laundering. He's been sentenced for 5 years in prison and $1 million fine for doing funny business in real estate with people that you shouldn't be doing funny business with. Ladies and gentlemen, don't do the crime. It's not worth the time. If someone proposes something funny, say thank you very much and walk away. Say, my broker is calling me, I have to go, and just keep walking really, really fast. Because I mean, the commission for that $1 million sale is not going to pay his attorney's fees. And 5 years up in a federal prison, no vale la pena. So don't do the crime. It's not worth the time. Something that I wanted to share with you because it was sent to me by two Canvas agents regarding that they saw in social media was that South Florida was the 14th area with higher foreclosure ratios in the country. We have no foreclosures. I can show you the graphs. We barely have 300,000 foreclosures nationally. You need 1.1 million to be normal. What happened to one is that we had zero, right? We had zero because remember there was COVID, there was moratoriums, there was forbearance, there was all these things that the government did to let people get back on their feet. That has expired. So yes, there's a lot of new foreclosure cases coming in, but these were old cases that have been sitting in a desk and they're now being reactivated. So do I think that we have a foreclosure epidemic in the US? No. If you watch me every Monday, you will be, like I tell you, when there's bad news coming, I'm like, hey, there's bad news coming. There's no bad news coming under foreclosure. Yes, this is a great listing opportunity, and we give you the first notice of foreclosure information to you every morning. Every morning we send that to your Bolt Trail so you can access with phone numbers, addresses, and everybody's name. So if you want to target that market, you can. Don't miss that opportunity. Another thing that I saw interesting this week is, and I'm not a golfer, so I don't know if anybody's a golfer here. At the PGA National Resort, any golfer here? There is a brand new project that is about to be built. It's a combination of villas and townhomes. The estimated value of the construction loan is $400 million. Where exactly is the PGA National? Jupiter?
Between Jupiter and
No, it's the one in Palm Beach Gardens. So what exit is that? Hypoluxo East? Further north? Okay. So apparently they're going to build a redevelopment of that. I've never been there. I don't know if you guys, any golfers have seen it. I don't know if there's any land left in there, but Trump Doral is also doing a redevelopment of part of their common areas. They're building condos. So I guess that the golf lifestyle is back. I think it was gone, but it's back. Another interesting sale that happened last week for those young people like Cristobal, they hang out in Wynwood on the weekends. The Moxie Hotel, which in Wynwood, just sold half of it to the Suzère Group for $100 million. They literally bought half of the hotel for $100 million, showing you that investing in short-term rental condos in Miami is a good investment because they're literally overpaying for hotels because there's no hotels anywhere. And then to wrap it up, Cristobal with Wynwood, there's 3 new restaurants they're opening that this week in Wynwood, Casa Madera, Sparo Italia, and Novo 33. So Wynwood has gone from being a drinking area, a millennial area, to a boomer area because they're building a lot of upscale restaurants, right? So upscale restaurants is driving a whole different traffic. On a sad note, any Miami Heat fans? Only one. Hey guys, you gotta start watching the Miami Heat. Grogan Dragic is sold his Miami Beach home for $13 million. Yeah. So he got transferred about 2 years ago. He kept the house, but I don't think he's retired yet. No. So he sold his house for $13 million. The buyer is the Romash family who builds power boats. Grogan Dragic, the little short guy that was unbelievable making threes. So I mean that was unbelievable, and I think that's all I had. The last thing is for those people that follow that are runners. There's a 10-mile linear park being built in Miami that is about to be finished. So you'll be able to run from all the way to Brickell underneath the train. It's a nice running path. It's nice and shallow, so no matter how hot it is, they're putting a lot of vegetation to mitigate the traffic. But if you're a runner, I think that will be a very cool thing to do. And this weekend, we had the Miami Marathon. I didn't do the marathon. I participated with my family on the 5K. You did the marathon or the 5K? Wow. The half marathon. Congrats. There were 24,000 people there. Huh? 29,000 people, and there was 2,000 people for the 5K. And I think it was 80% of everybody there was from outside Florida. People that just came here. So I gotta tell you, we are living where everybody loves to vacation. So that was what I had on motivation and information. And then, like I said, I wanted to share with you in the 8 minutes that I have left a couple of things on why you're worth every penny. Like I said, a few agents reached out to me and they were like, Ernesto, I'm presenting my buyer's agreement. The buyers are hesitant. What do I say to close the deal? So things that you do: you prepare the documentation, you explain agency, you inform the buyer that a working relationship is a state and code of ethics requirement. So you do all of that. You learn the buyer's wants and negotiable needs. You understand their budget, their financial position. You help the buyer understand what property better fits within their budget that they can buy. You assist buyers with a checklist of what their needs are. You assist the buyer examining how much they can really afford, right? Because everybody says, I want to buy this, but they never do the math on what they really can afford. You build a relation with a lender and get them to get qualified, right? You match their needs with available property, not their dreams, their needs with available property. You're constantly reevaluating and refocusing the buyers so they better understand what do they fit. You explain how compensation is paid and how it affects them or not, right? You talk about your code of ethics and everything that you do that has to be within the code of ethics. You explain to your buyers what fair housing is, what federal housing laws are. You explain that and help them understand the required disclosures that come with a purchase that's taking place. A lot of you are now dealing with the new condo rider, which a couple of you reached out to me during the weekend. So the condo rider. So you explain the entire process because these are state laws that have to be followed before a purchase. You truly understand neighborhoods and are better to discuss with them what neighborhoods might work better for them. You explain timelines, house hunting, mortgage approvals, closing, local markets. You show a statistic, percentage of listing price of sellers in the area. You inform the buyers of what home features are popular right now. You identify what we just talked about, current days of market, to see if there's an opportunity in that property. You explain the concept of our absorption rate. When we say there's 5 months of inventory, what does that mean to a buyer? They don't know what we're talking about. There's 5 months of inventory. What? So you explain all of that. You explain and share, thanks to your Title Logic profile, what are the closing costs? What are the dollars they're going to have to bring to the table, right? When it comes to the qualification, you hold buyers consultations. You are present for them to truly understand what is their cost. You are available for all of their phone calls and questions and text messages. You assist them understanding options. So if Ruben says, listen, it's better for you to do a conventional loan than a FHA loan, you're gonna, after they talk to Ruben, they're gonna turn to you and say, hey, is this really true? Is it better for me to do a conventional than an FHA? And you're like, well, yeah, because your mortgage payment fluctuates this much to this much. Oh, no, it's better to go FHA because you can qualify easier because of the little ding you have on your credit. You communicate with the other agent. one of the beautiful things that has come out of this new way of working is that all of you are now talking to the other agents. And everybody's smiling at me now. You are all communicating. It's a new they don't answer. When they answer, again, and again. You explain forms, you give them a sample contract so they understand what they're going to be filling out. When it comes to showing property, you schedule showings, you provide access, you sort of show them everything else is available on the MLS. Jesus, there's so many things I found with. You help research the area to better understand what they need. You preview properties even before you show it to them to see if this property is going to fit what they're looking for, right? You network with other agents to see if there's other listings that are going to be coming in the market that better fit them. You set them up in automatic drip campaigns. So whenever a listing hits the MLS, even if they're at work, they immediately know what new listing came in and how does it work with them. You can even arrange for them to get information on schools and even arrange tours for them to visit schools. You can tell them about any negative aspects that could affect that neighborhood. You share data on taxes. You inform them about tax homestead exemption. So these are many of the things that you guys do. So when a buyer says, what are you going to do for me? These are many of the things that you do for this buyer, right? You negotiate, you get them the best price for the property, you get them the best concessions for the property. You prepare a CMA and multiple platforms so they better understand where the value is coming from. You explain contingencies and how do they affect the contract and how do they protect them in a contract. You ensure they understand all the forms, the new flood form. Everybody has a million questions about the new flood form and why do I need to fill it out? And you take the time to explain all of this for them. You use strategy and escalation clauses to maintain to get a competitive offer. These are many of the things that you guys do when working with a buyer. And if any of you want to get them, send me a link and I will send them to you without a problem. Joel, I will not put it in the WhatsApp, but I will email it to you. Shoot me a quick email, I'll send it your way. Just like if everybody else is watching in Zoom, before I let you go, if any of the Zoom team has any question. Nada? Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna stay chatting with the Weston team for a couple of more minutes. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow we're back to Ask the Attorney. There's already a few people asking about the condo writer, so I guess there'll be questions about the condo writer tomorrow again. So if you have any concerns, don't miss that presentation mañana. Everybody, if you want what I just talked about, just shoot me an email and I'll send it to you. See you around.